Are you thinking about moving to Kitchener-Waterloo? Well, then you'll definitely want to check out this video where we break down the top 5 pros and cons of living in Kitchener-Waterloo.
You'll want to stick around for the cons before you make your decision, especially number 1, which is quite controversial.
So quick facts about Kitchener-Waterloo. The city of Kitchener has a population of about 250,000 and the city of Waterloo has a population of about 150,000 as of right now. And last year in 2023, according to Stats Canada, Waterloo Region was the fastest growing region in Canada.
So diving in with pro number 5, which is the diverse culture in Kitchener-Waterloo. With a mix of cultures and communities, Kitchener-Waterloo offers a diverse experience for its residents.
This is reflected in the variety of ethnic restaurants that we have. You can find food from all over the place in Kitchener-Waterloo. And then we have things like multicultural festivals. We have food festivals for specific communities like Greek Food Festival, Serbian Food Festival, to name a few. There's the Oktoberfest event that happens here every year. That's the second biggest in the world after the ones in Germany. And then little events like Ribfest. And don't forget the St. Jacobs Farmers Market, where you'll see people from all over the world. So generally, Kitchener-Waterloo is very welcoming and there's a place for everybody here.
Pro number 4 on the list is quality of life.
That's right. The residents of Kitchener-Waterloo benefit from a high quality of life with access to excellent healthcare, well-maintained parks, and an overall safe environment.
On top of that, Kitchener-Waterloo doesn't feel like a concrete jungle. We have over 125 kilometers of trails. We have natural parks like the Huron Natural Area. We have the Grand River. And then on top of that, we have lots of facilities as well. We have Rim Park, the Waterloo Rec Complex, community centers all around, the Kitchener and Waterloo public libraries. And of course, we also have the Chicopee Ski Hill, which is a must-do activity if you live in Kitchener-Waterloo.
Number 3 on our list is the job market. Kitchener-Waterloo has a very diverse economy with strong industries in insurance, education, healthcare, the tech sector, and the manufacturing sector.
That's right. So the job market is something that keeps a lot of local residents wanting to stay in Kitchener-Waterloo. And then the tech industry is actually pulling in all sorts of talent from around the country and even internationally. We're known as the Silicon Valley of the North, and with strong tech companies like Google, E2L, Communitech, and of course, we were home to the first smartphone, the BlackBerry.
In addition to the strong tech jobs, we have big manufacturing places like a big Toyota manufacturing plant and a recently built Amazon facility.
So with such a diverse economy, it's no wonder that a lot of people have their eyes set on Kitchener-Waterloo.
Number 2 on our list of pros is the high quality of educational institutions in Kitchener-Waterloo.
Yes, so Kitchener-Waterloo is home to 3 top-notch post-secondary institutions. We have the University of Waterloo, we have the University of Laurier, and we also have Conestoga College. On top of that, we also have top-notch elementary and secondary schools. We actually have a video that goes over the top 6 elementary schools in the region, so make sure you check that out.
So the high quality educational institutions are a big draw for parents, but it also creates lots of opportunities for investors looking to purchase investment properties, as there is a huge demand for student housing in the region.
And pro number 1 on our list is the favorable location.
That's right. As with all real estate, the number 1 factor is location, location, location. So Kitchener-Waterloo is located smack dab in the center of southwestern Ontario, in between Toronto and the USA.
KW is located off of the 401, which is going to easily get you to any of the major cities that you're hoping to go to. And of course, one of the major cities everyone's going to in Ontario is Toronto, and the GTA is just an hour's drive away from Kitchener-Waterloo.
In addition to having easy access down the 401 to the GTA, we also have a GO train station which gets you to Union Station in Toronto directly from Kitchener.
And last but not least, something that some residents don't even know, Waterloo actually has its own airport with direct international and domestic flights.
So now we're going to get into the highly anticipated cons list of living in Kitchener-Waterloo. But before we do that, we just want to remind you that as much as we love making these videos and informing you, we are real estate agents here in the Waterloo region. So if you're thinking about buying, selling, or leasing a place anywhere in the Waterloo region, reach out to us. There's a link down below where you can connect with us.
So let's dive into the cons, starting with number 5, which is traffic and infrastructure. So with the rapid growth of the population, of course, there also comes an increase in traffic, and that puts pressure on the infrastructure. Now, the region is doing a great job of trying to mitigate this. They've built the LRT in recent years, which has been a huge help. But the public transit, especially on the outskirts and the newer areas, could use some work. If you're within a reasonable proximity of the downtown core, it's actually really, really good. But again, those newer areas still need some work.
And of course, because a lot of people drive in Kitchener-Waterloo, traffic during rush hour, so in the morning or after work, can get pretty brutal in a few spots. There's a lot of congestion, backups, standstills at certain times of the day. I mean, it's nothing compared to what our friends in the GTA experience, but for us locals, we've definitely noticed a big difference in the last few years.
Con number 4 is the rising cost of living. As the population grows, demand increases, and this puts an upward pressure on the cost of living, especially housing prices. And naturally, this has become a barrier for some people that are looking to move to this region.
Initially, a lot of people were coming into Kitchener-Waterloo because of the affordability, but in recent years, you can't really find a family home under $500,000. Your only options under $500,000 are condos, and if you are looking for a family home, realistically, you're going to be in the $650,000 to $850,000 range. Con number 3 on our list is the rise of homelessness in Kitchener-Waterloo. Now, of course, due to the rising costs of living as well as housing, the cities of Kitchener and Waterloo have seen an increase in the homeless population.
Yeah, according to the city of Kitchener, there's over 1,000 people experiencing homelessness right now, with hundreds of those experiencing chronic homelessness.
Yes, the most obvious one that everybody in the region knows about and points to is the tent city that's popped up at the corner of Weber and Victoria, leading residents to question what the region is actually doing about the homelessness problem instead of just stuffing them into a spot and hoping that it goes away. The number 2 con on our list is the lack of nightlife and entertainment in Kitchener-Waterloo. Compared to Toronto and GTA, Kitchener-Waterloo definitely lacks in the nightlife scene, which might be a drawback for younger residents seeking that type of lifestyle.
And this is one of the somewhat controversial topics among residents in Kitchener-Waterloo. Not even George and I agree fully on this, because I feel like Uptown Waterloo does have lots of options, but they're more geared for like a wine bar or a sit-down bar. If you're looking for a more dancing environment or clubs, it is geared towards students, and there are a couple of those options in Uptown.
That's right. And then downtown Kitchener, which does have a bit more of a mature vibe, doesn't really have the places that are open late. They usually close early. And if you take a walk downtown Kitchener on Friday or Saturday night, it's actually pretty dead downtown, which is hopefully something that's going to be addressed in the near future. With so many condo buildings built around these neighborhoods, there's going to be a demand and a need for more nightlife and entertainment.
And speaking of entertainment as well, although Kitchener-Waterloo does have the Center in the Square and an OHL hockey team, it's nothing compared to what you'll get in Toronto. So if you want to go catch a big act or a big sports game, you'll need to make that drive down to Toronto, catch the Toronto Raptors, Toronto Maple Leafs, or a big music star like Taylor Swift.
Number 1 on our cons list, and this is a very controversial and heavily debated topic between the residents here, it's the large student population. So between the 3 major post-secondary institutions, there's about 60,000 students that are here in Kitchener-Waterloo, and while mostly they do behave themselves very well, they can get quite rowdy at times of the year.
Yeah, that's right. And like George said, most of them are good. They're here to get a good education. They want to find full-time employment after. However, there are those couple of events per year where they do get quite rowdy. I'm thinking the St. Patrick's Day Parade or the homecoming parties. These events are notorious for the students partying, and sometimes it costs the city quite a bit of money. For instance, the most recent St. Patrick's Day Parade cost the city $300,000 between the security they had to hire and the damages that were caused by the students.
These events make it difficult for property owners or anybody trying to get through uptown Waterloo at that time. People tend to avoid it when these things are happening, and it's just generally an eyesore for everyone that's not part of the partying student body. And then in addition to that, residents have complained that if they live near student houses, it can get quite loud or rowdy on evenings and certain weekends.